it's weird to know that due to the 6 degrees of separation, I'm actually 2 away from John Darwin, the Canoe Man. Have you ever heard of the scientific thesis of I think it's called the 6 stages of separation? What they reckon is that every single person on the planet is connected by 6.6 people. I think they did millions, they studied billions and billions of texts, messaging, and they came to the conclusion that everybody is connected within by 6.6 only by 6.6 people. So in essence, it means you're connected to Vladimir Putin, and you're also connected at the same time to Joe Biden in some sort of way, weird way. It's not very interesting that way, but it gets a little bit more interesting when it comes a little bit closer to you, when it comes a little bit closer to home, when you're like maybe 2 degrees of separation rather than 6. Yeah, just love it's a walkway. Think she got right away. That's an interesting one. Racing line, remember that one? Somebody cuts you up. You hold the line. I don't know. Anyway, 6 degrees of separation. For instance, it's when you know people, it's knowing people who know people. Shelley's got a friend who's Danish, who ran a very, very high-end restaurant in Copenhagen. And it was at the same time that G8 Summit was down at Copenhagen, and she had a meal that entertained, and she met Hillary Clinton. So in essence, we are me to Shelley, Shelley to her friend to Hillary, with 3 people away from Hillary Clinton, which is, you know, it's not bad. It's quite an interesting one. When I was younger and I started golf, for a year every Saturday I caddied for the Manchester United ex-manager Sir Matt Busby. So in essence, if people who know me, they are 1 away from Sir Matt Busby, which is quite interesting. My friend, who's the golf pro, teaches Pep Guardiola, so I'm 2 away from Pep Guardiola. It's busy down here tonight, like today. It's busy down here today. A lot of tourists in this area. It seems to be more busy here than it is in Los Cristianos. That's for sure. That's basically how the thesis works. That you're only a few people away from somebody famous or from somebody you know, and it becomes a little bit more interesting. And you might most probably know some people as well. I want to tell you the story that I know is about a really interesting guy who I met around about 2004, 2005. I'd just been promoted, and I'd just managed to get myself off the sales floor and managed to make myself into a business manager. And the first position, I was working for Vauxhall at the time, but the first position I got offered as business manager was working for Jaguar, Stratstone Jaguar in Westerhope, Newcastle. And just a side story on that one. One day I was there working, I'm walking past the phone ringing. I used to tell everybody off, I said, if the phone rings, you always need to pick a phone up. So I picked the phone up, and I went, Newcastle Jaguar, and he went, hi, who's that? I went, it's Rick. And he went, hi Rick, it's Gaza. I went, oh, hello Paul. Next thing you know, I'm selling Paul Gascoigne a Jaguar, Paul Gascoigne's dad a Jaguar XJ for his dad. So he was nice. He came to the dealership a few times. Bit of a troubled soul, but there you go. But anyway, one of the lads on the floor, sales lad on the floor, I'm 35 at the time, and one of the lads on the floor is a 50-year-old guy called Paul Wager. Now, Paul Wager, he's working in Newcastle, but actually lives in Hartlepool. So therefore, he's a monkey hanger. Have you heard that one before? Monkey hangers. Do you know why they're called monkey hangers? The reason being, apparently, I had to look this up. In the Napoleonic Wars in the 19th century, rumour has it that a ship wrecked in Hartlepool, and on the shipwreck was a monkey. And the people from Hartlepool thought that this monkey was a French spy. So they tried it as a French spy and then hung it. And from that day on, the people of Hartlepool have been known and called monkey hangers. And it's affectionate. It's actually an affectionate name. I didn't realise it was affectionate to be called that. But it's an affectionate name. So Paul Wager was a monkey hanger. And I tell you what he was, he's a fantastic salesman, absolutely brilliant salesman, very, very well-to-do, well-spoken, that's the word, not well-to-do, very, very well-spoken man. And he came from Hartlepool, so he had to travel about an hour every day to get up to Newcastle Jaguar. Let's just get this place sorted for you, see if we get the view on here, it's really nice. So I'm working with Paul Wager, and I know Paul Wager, the car salesman. What I didn't realise was Paul Wager was also actually a very well-known artist in the northeast, and he was an artist, a sculptor. He worked with bronze, he worked with steel, and some of these works you've seen at the beginning of this video. He was actually quite an accomplished one as well, and he's well respected and well known in his community of the art world. I think he studied at Loughborough. He's actually since he's passed away in April 2020, I think it was, which I found out today as well, which is a bit of a shame, because the guy was an absolute character. Me and him used to go head to head with conversations, and also like he was such a stubborn guy, but he was most probably the number one salesman at Newcastle Jaguar at the time I was working there. So you've got to respect, you've got to respect him for that. What happened was, the story that I'm talking about today, and this is where it gets to a little bit, it gets funny, is because he's from Hartlepool, there's the first connection that you actually get with the Canoe Man, John Darwin, because he was also from Hartlepool. He was from Seaton Carew, which is just near Hartlepool. And what happened was, one day I'm working. One of the things about the car industry which is awful is you've got to work Sundays, you've got to work weekends, and you've got to do a Sunday shift. And the management take it in turns of who does the Sunday. So I'll do it one week, and then the sales leader does it another week. And then, hello mate, you all right? Hello. Are you okay?
Yeah, I was just wondering why I was fishing for a second.
Oh, no. So you got to do it. Be careful off that wall.
Yeah.
Is it a big drop?
No, it's not too bad.
Is it not too bad? Let's have a look.
That's a nice spot over there for that.
Are you going fishing here?
Yeah, it's a nice spot over here.
Jesus Christ, be careful on that, man. It's like parkour. Enjoy your day.
Take care.
So I had to do I had to work the Sunday. It was my turn to work Sunday, and I had Paul on my shift. So Paul turns up, and Sundays normally tends to be a quiet day, quiet start, 10 o'clock, start with a coffee. And it's Jaguar, it's just like a slower world, which is really quite nice. Got a bit too slow for me. But one Sunday morning, and I will never forget this day, he's talking to me, and he's talking to me about a friend of his. And he said this friend of his one day went out in his canoe and never came back. And I'm like, really? I'm like, yeah, I'd never heard this story. He went, yeah, it happened about 5 years ago, he never came back. And he's telling me the story, he went out one day, got caught in a tide, and never came back, but he's been friends with him for years, etc. Didn't think anything else of it. Sunday finished, we just did the Sunday shift and it went. The following day, on the Monday, in all the newspapers, was the story of John Darwin, how he'd returned. And I just couldn't believe it. I was aghast. So I pulled him straight into the office. He was all over the TV, all the newspapers. I pulled him into the office and I went, Paul, you knew this guy was coming back. So I like, no, talked through his nose a lot. No, not at all. I went, you bloody knew. You would never have told me this story if you hadn't have known. No. And he tried to deny it, but it was clear that he knew the story, and he knew that John Darwin was going to turn up. And looking into Paul's past, the reason why Paul was actually selling cars was because he had a bit of a VAT issue himself in the early years. And it was the same sort of time that same as John Darwin did. And I think that these two are like thick as thieves, most probably, when I look back on it now and see. And it's been interesting to see the stories that they go on, like how they made a TV show out of, you know, dramatisation of the Canoe Man. I'm listening to the Great British Scandal, and the Canoe Man's been on there. He's got a series on there about himself as well, or they've done a series of him. And to this day, it's weird to know that due to the 6 degrees of separation, I'm actually 2 away from John Darwin, the Canoe Man, with his who got found. Is it in Panama? I think that remember that photograph that gave him away, because he came in after 5 years screaming amnesia, and then somebody googled his name, and the next thing you know, straight up on Google was that first photograph that ever came up. And it's just weird, 6 degrees of separation. It's just a strange one. I thought you might like that one. I've got loads of these from the car trade, from the car industry. It's a really, you know, eclectic world of people that get together. It's so bizarre. How far away are you from people? Have you got anybody famous that you can say, or any great stories like that? Because that story just it made me tickle. The thing about Paul Wager was such a character. His artwork was phenomenal. I mean, you've seen some at the beginning of the video, but also here, look at, you know, floating around on this one now. His artwork is absolutely phenomenal. And even though he's died, he's got like 5,000 followers on Instagram still. And I've looked into some of the. He's got his own web page, which I'll leave a link below for it. And he was such a character, man. He was such a character. It's sad to hear the passing of him as well. So, you know, but that's the way it goes. Guys, have a great weekend. Hope you. I can't even say that because I don't even know when I'm going to do this one. I've got to tell you the reason why it's been quiet for the last week is because the vlog that we did for the main channel about the secret getaway was probably the most comprehensive vlog that I've ever done, and it took me 3.5 days to edit, and I went all out to try and make sure that was the best piece of work I could possibly give. I think that's the difference between what this is, vlogging, and what that is content creating. And I actually want to see myself more as a content creator, hence the reason why it took so long to do. But if you've seen it and you've enjoyed it, thank you very much. If you've not seen it, go and take a look at it, because it's I'm quite proud of that piece of work. I'll see you guys on the next one. Thanks for tuning in, and all the best. See you soon.